Hi and welcome to the lesson on the video on the gradient. The gradient I'm assuming that you've seen before and you have some idea about. I just wanted to go through a little bit about what it is and then a couple of equations that we can use to find the gradient. Essentially the gradient measures the slope of a graph. We can also call this the rate of change of a graph. Now the gradient that you guys will look at will be linear types of gradients, but you can get a gradient of a curved graph, which you'll look at again back in year 11 and year 12. But essentially it measures the slope of the graph, or the rate of change. How much is it going up over how much is it going across. So the way we calculate the gradient is it's measured by calculating the difference the graph increases or decreases between 2 points, divided by the difference the graph travels in the positive horizontal direction. If that didn't make any sense, I can show you the equation we use, which you might have seen before, and that is the equation there. So m, which is what we call the gradient, is the rise or fall divided by the run, how much it's going across. And I always prefer to go from left to right when I'm working out the run. I don't like to go from right to left, so I always pick a position, say here, and I say how far is it going that way, how far is it going this way. I don't like to go the other direction, otherwise I get confused. And the other way that we can work that out is by using this equation here. Imagine we've got 2 points, y, sorry, I'll do the x1 first because that's always first. We've got a point x1 or x2, y2, and we've got another point x1, y1, and these have to be the same. They both have to be 1s or they both have to be 2s, otherwise we muck things up a bit. And then we can put that into our equation to find out what the gradient, the rate of change between these 2 points, and that would be y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. It doesn't matter whether you do this one as x2 y2 or x1 and y1. It really makes no difference. The only thing you have to be careful of is that you keep it x1 and y1 or x2 and y2. You can't mix those two together. Okay, and I guess what we can do is have a look at a positive gradient or a negative gradient. In this case here, we've got our run, which is the distance between this point and this point horizontally, and we've also got a rise, the distance between this point and this point vertically. In this case there is a positive rise, I'll put that in, positive rise and a positive run. Well, it's always a positive run. So therefore a positive number divided by a positive number is a positive number, so the gradient is positive. In this case over here the rise is negative. The run is always positive. So when you get a negative number, because it's actually going down from one point to another, the negative number divided by a positive number is negative. So therefore the gradient itself is actually going to be negative between the 2 points. Okay, two more things. So you get either positive gradients or negative gradients. You can have two other cases as well. Sometimes you've actually got a straight line that is parallel to the x-axis here. And we actually notice that there's no rise in this case, but there's a long run. So it actually runs infinitely, but there's no rise. So in this case, we would actually say that there's zero rise over lots of run. But when you get 0 divided by anything, it's always going to be 0. So in this case, the gradient is 0. For this next one, it's a little bit trickier. This next one, there's a rise, an infinite rise, but there's actually no run. So we get the rise divided by the run, which is 0. And when we go to our calculators, when we do anything divided by 0, it always ends up being an error. And the reason is because we actually don't know how to divide by 0. And I can show you in class, some theories behind this, but we actually don't know how to divide by 0. So in this case, we would say that anything divided by 0, we'd say is undefined. Okay, so in this case, this gradient here is undefined. We don't know how to do it. Okay, so that's the video for the gradient. There's a couple of more things that I want to teach you in class, but I think I might do that in person. So thanks for watching.